Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Um, I haven't talked a lot, and I mean to. I just things get so busy and hectic in my life. As you know, between my girlfriend and I, we have 7 kids, and amidst this coronacation, yeah, right, I did the bunny ears. I like the bunny ears. Amidst this coronacation, things have been a bit more stressful for us and obviously most of the world. So it's been hard to get any time to myself. So I figured since I'm headed back from dropping my daughter off at work, I could talk for a few minutes and let you all in on what's going on in Rob's world. And I guess the big thing in my life right now is we're in week 4, so I've done 3 full weeks as a vegan, or I guess more plant-based diet. I think it's vegan right now, but we're going to move towards a more plant-based diet and get some of the crutches that we've been allowing ourselves out of there. It's been weird. I haven't had any meat or dairy products or anything like that in weeks, and I gotta say, I don't mind not having it. I feel better than I have in years. For a long time, I had this underlying feeling of blah that was always there, so I just I don't know, slowly grew used to it, like it was part of my life. And then we dabbled in vegetarianism a bit for a good week or two, because right now the meat is so expensive in stores. I mean, it's just out of hand, and for a family of 9, it was getting too much. So we started having more vegetarian dinners. I guess you'd have to be full-time vegetarian to call it vegetarian, but we skipped meat on days and stuff, and I started to notice that on those days I felt better than on the days that I was eating meat. And so we watched a couple of documentaries, and before long I was sold on trying this for 4 weeks. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a go for 4 weeks and see how it goes, because those days that we didn't have meat and dairy, I felt pretty good. It's weird because this feeling of grossness that I always had, I just assumed it was part of me. It was part of my health, my body makeup, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I slowly realized that I didn't have to feel like that. I haven't been going to bed with heartburn, and I haven't had this feeling of bleh, it was part of me. I liked not having to feel like that. And so we did go full vegan, and 3 full weeks down. And I hesitate to use the word because I know people give a lot of shit. I mean, I was one of them. You meet somebody that's vegan and that's all they talk about. I'm vegan, And that guy waved to me and I didn't wave back. I kind of felt like a turd shit. So, but it starts to become, something that you bring up, and I don't want to bring it up a lot because I know it annoys people. So I try to keep it down, but I enjoy it. And what was going to be a 4-week test, I'm thinking I want to extend through at least the end of the year and see how it goes. I've lost some weight. I feel better. And okay, the food is fantastic. My girlfriend is an amazing cook. She can make even a vegan diet like this is fantastic. I don't even care that I'm missing meat. And one of the things she makes is like this quote-unquote hamburger, quote-unquote. Oh, okay. Let's just put the quote on the hamburger, quote-unquote. So she takes beans and just makes you think you're eating hamburger, and it doesn't taste exactly the same, but it tastes good enough that I don't care that we're not having hamburger. Yeah, so we use this on tacos or whatever, and it's fantastic. I don't mind it. I've grown very fond of tofu, and I know the first time I had tofu, it was terrible. It just tasted like I was eating paper vomit. So I've found that I don't mind tofu, and we've been experimenting with recipes and stuff, and okay, she has been, and I do what I can, but it's still pretty new to me. But there's just so many things you can have. I thought I'd be bored with it, at some point, but I mean, 3.5 weeks in, I'm not bored with it yet. I'm enjoying everything we've had. And it's more of a, eating not to just eat, but eating because I know I have to. So I'm not like sitting in front of the TV vegging out on, a pack of hot dogs. Laugh at me if you will. I have done that. I have sat in front of the TV and eaten an entire package of hot dogs before in my life, which is probably why I'm missing a foot right now. Who would have thought, So anyway, that's what's been new with me, and honestly, I'd like to talk more about it in the future. Maybe share recipes or dinners we've had that I've, found to be good. But there's just so many upsides I'm already seeing to this plant-based lifestyle. My blood sugar levels, I'm ashamed to admit, my fastings used to be in the upper 200s. I mean, they were bad. They've always been bad, even when my regular blood sugars were down, in the mustard, in the cool, in the better area. Those fastings were always insane. And now they're in the middle hundreds, like 150, anywhere between 125 and 150 is where my fasting blood sugars have been. And I'll take it. That's over 100 points improvement. I can't imagine, what my A1C is going to look like. So hopefully I can keep that second foot attached to me, right? I only got one left, let's keep it kind of thing. I got home, so now I'm just going to sit here and finish rambling on the few things I had to say. What else has been going on? Well, the Coronication is a big thing. And here in Shenandoah, we had a high school graduation a couple of weeks ago. That was a strange affair. My oldest, Robbie, graduated high school this year, and they stopped going, March? And while the other kids had to continue learning online, they decided that if the seniors wanted to check out, they could check out and just keep the grades that they had at that point. And Robbie's grades were good, so he just decided not to do the online stuff, which, I get in one way. But anyways, so he did graduate, and it was weird because, they only one kid could be in the building at a time, and they could have 4 people with them. Let's see, was it 4? 1, 2, 3, yeah, so 4. So I think there were only 8 of us in the building when my son graduated. It was, maybe it was 9. There were the person at the podium announcing his name, a person kind of standing off to the side, the person taking pictures, and then Robbie, myself, Julia, our daughter Hope, and my ex-wife. And it was really just strange. They said his name, he grabbed his diploma, came down, I moved his tassel to the other side of his hat. Then we walked out of the auditorium, he got his picture, and we were done. It was less than 3 minutes. It was so bizarre. And they edited these all together into a sort of graduation DVD, which I haven't brought myself to watch yet. I know I'm going to be a mess when I do it. But they're planning on doing an actual full graduation next month, towards the middle of the month, I believe. So, I mean, it's a second graduation. If they can do it, I don't know if it's I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, okay, I know why, but why do the first one if they're planning on doing it in July? I don't know. The whole thing was just so bizarre. Everything is just so weird in the world right now. Here we've got race riots going, because let's face it, the police are just out of hand, with the, just the senseless profiling and bullshit that, the black community has to go through. And it just seems so unfair, everything they go through. So, I stand by them, behind them on the Black Lives Matter movement. Obviously I can't stand with them because I don't know the oppression they've gone through. And I think that a certain orange asshole in the White House needs to check his white privilege, because this asshole's terrible. But we're not going to touch on all of my feelings on Trump right now, because, I'm not going to change anybody's mind one way or the other. And just, if you want to get a sense of how I feel about Trump, read his posts through the eyes of a decent human being, okay? Not a Trump-loving asshole, or even a Trump-loving good person. There are a lot of good Trump supporters out there, so I'm not saying all of you. But look through the eyes of a decent human being rather than somebody with their head up Trump's ass, and you'll see that this guy's got a plethora of issues. I mean, just issues everywhere. Horrible human being. He's dividing the country. But again, let's not talk too much on Trump right now, especially since I've been yammering for about 10 minutes now, and I need to get back inside and get some work done. But I just wanted to touch base. I'll be back soon. I got a lot to talk about, a lot of things going on that I don't know. I feel like let's get off my chest. But first and foremost, I did want to update on the vegan diet, because I have a feeling that if I stay on this diet for the first time in my life, I'm going to be a healthy weight, and I really look forward to that. I look forward to talking to all of you again soon. If you got this far into the video, like it. I think that's what we do on YouTube. Thumbs up, whatever the hell you do. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from anybody if you actually watch these. And if you have any questions or comments, hell, maybe one day you want to see me put my prosthetic on. It's a strange process, huh? It sounds weird, right? It's kind of interesting how you put this on, and I don't know. Maybe somebody wants to see that. Yeah, all my weird bass out there. I don't know. I'd like to talk about more life as a amputee too. Some interesting ways of dealing with things there. So I'll be back, and when the day is new, and we'll have things to talk about and shit. I feel like I was going somewhere with that, and then it just kind of trailed off. Anyway, until next time, this is Rob saying, this is Rob. Toodles.